I've been learning a ton recently from people that are smarter than me. People like Ais Mozi, Hamza, good entrepreneurs, people that are further than me on their self-improvement journeys. And it's been very, very, very beneficial. Yesterday, I learned something that will genuinely change the growth trajectory of this channel. And I learned other things that will probably, in the future, change my life forever. In the last 3 days, I learned so much. So it made me really realize how powerful this habit of learning is. From learning from great resources, from learning from smart people, from learning from people that have achieved things that you want to achieve, that have made mistakes on the way and tell you, oh yeah, I tripped here, I made this mistake, don't make the same mistake as me. So I generally think learning is one of the most powerful self-improvement habits you can find, if not the most powerful one. Of course, if you just spend your time learning like a dumbass and you don't never implement it, then it becomes pretty useless. But if you learn and you really make it change your behavior, even if it's not immediately, people say, oh yeah, you should go take action immediately. Not necessarily. Sometimes I learn about some things that I cannot really take action on right now, and something that I will typically take action on in the future. That if I can take action on things immediately, I will definitely do it. But it just learning just changes my beliefs, my views on the world, how I see things, and it changed my behavior on the long run. So I genuinely think learning, if you do it correctly, it might genuinely be the most powerful self-improvement habit you can find out there. And all the phases of my self-improvement journey where I stopped learning, where I started learning less and less and less, I started trying to replace it with other things. It failed miserably. That just shows how powerful this habit and how important this habit is. So in this video, I just want to tell you how this, even though it seems easy, it's also easy to mess it up, to mess up when it comes to learning. And for a long time, I wasn't learning correctly, and it led me to not make any progress and start thinking, oh yeah, learning might be bullshit. But no, learning is powerful, you do it correctly. It's just that for most of my self-improvement journey, I was learning incorrectly. And the first mistake I was making that led me to not learn much, I wasn't following my curiosity. I was just consuming and consuming things, even if I found them super boring, even if I wasn't curious about that thing. I would just read a random book because I just bought it, and I would just read it from start to finish, even though I was so freaking bored through it. And I had to myself, oh yeah, be disciplined. Yeah, even if you hate it, just learn, just read. No, when it comes to learning, when you, when what I do now is when I notice myself being totally bored on certain content that I'm consuming, I'll stop watching it. Because when you're not truly engaged, when you're not truly curious about what you're learning, what I've noticed, it doesn't bring you anything. When I'm not truly curious about it, I'm not focused on it. Have you noticed that when you try to think back to a time when you were learning something in school or just in your own free time that you weren't interested in? It's so freaking hard to focus when you do that. It's so difficult to be focused and truly listen and um truly ingrain the different things on that book or that podcast into your brain when you're not truly enjoying it. And I did that for 1.5 years, like 1.5 years. I was just reading books for the sake of reading them because people said, oh yeah, read this book. And when I started watching podcasts, I would just read. I was just watching some random podcasts. Then I thought, oh yeah, maybe there might be some information or something helpful in this podcast for me. No, it doesn't work like that. Learn to follow your curiosity, and even this is a skill. In the beginning, I was trying this skill, and I slowly learned how to follow my curiosity. See, okay, what do I want to learn right now? Ask yourself that question. And then go and learn that. So I love learning about a certain aspect of business. It's not just this broad topic of business, but a certain aspect. So for me, I'm really into learning about branding right now. And I'm also learning about how to make a better offer and how to get leads. So I've been watching a lot of Alex Hormozy recently, a lot of Alex Hormozy's podcasts, and yeah, and some other content creators. I also like to learn a lot about diet, carnivore diet right now. So right now there's not really much of content that I'm researching about because I've already researched a lot about it. So I already know the basics of the carnivore diet. Right now I can't implement it because it's going to be pretty expensive, but in the future I'm going to try it, the carnivore diet. But there was a time when I was learning about it for hours every day because I found it very, very, very interesting. So follow your curiosity. If you're not interested in learning about sleep right now and you try to watch a sleep podcast and you through it and you feel bored, it feels horrible, it feels super boring, don't fucking do it. Because it won't bring you anything if you're not curious about it. If you're not curious about it, your brain won't really absorb those information. You won't want to take action immediately after that if you're not interested in that. If you're fucking learning about sleep when right now you're truly passionate about and curious about discipline, learning about sleep won't aid you much, it won't help you much. Instead of waiting in the period where you're truly curious about sleep to learn about it. So right now I'm not curious about sleep. My sleep has become pretty good. I've already watched some podcasts about sleep in the past, but in that period of time, I just watched it with that mindset that I had in the past. Obviously, yeah, just absorb as much information, even if you're bored through it. So now I have a pretty good understanding, and I always had a pretty good understanding of sleep. Not always, but since I got some improvement, I'd already in some periods before I really learned this concept. I had seen a video of Hamza that he posted about sleep, and I watched it, and he taught me a lot of great things about sleep. So kind of stop seeing learning as this. You probably had phases in your life before you even got on some improvement where you were just, oh yeah, you were curious about the topic and you just started researching about it. Maybe it was fitness. For a lot of people, it was. So you wanted to build muscle and you were really curious about it. And you said, oh yeah, how many sets? Oh yeah, this is, oh, which exercise? That's the type of curiosity you should be following when you learn right now. That's the type of thing, the curiosity you should have. And even with books, I have another tip. When it comes to books, you don't have to read a book from start to finish. Stop with that sacredness with books. No. Read it like a blog. So when I read a book, most likely, at least when it comes to a book that I've already read in the past, I won't just go start to finish. I will just find a chapter that contains information that I'm interested in right now, that I'm curious about, and read it. Simple. As simple as that. Even when it comes to some videos, like most of the podcasts that I watch, I do watch them from start to finish. But if I find myself just in a phase when there's a certain spot in the podcast where they just talk about something that I'm not interested in, I would just skip it. Or maybe then when there are fucking ads or people are gonna be like, oh yeah, the sponsor of this video, I'll just skip it. Instantly, I just skip it. The podcasts I've been watching recently, they've been very, very interesting. So I haven't really there weren't really some spots where I was like, oh yeah, this is boring or this is not interesting or I'm not curious about this. Learn to follow your curiosity, even when it comes to books. Don't take this sacredness away from reading and watching podcasts. Read like a blog. Fuck it. You were reading a book, you notice that the first chapter is not that interesting, or it doesn't really pique your curiosity. Skip it. Go through the table of content and see a chapter that seems like it has some good information that you're curious about, and read it. In the beginning, it might be hard to follow your curiosity if you've been just consuming and learning for the sake of learning for a long time. For me, it was for the first few days, 1 2 days, but now it's become pretty easy for me to just follow my curiosity, and now I love learning. I used to fucking hate learning. I'll just learn and go through it, hating it, not want to do it. But now it's a lot better. And because I love it, because I follow it, things that I'm curious about, I'm implementing it even more. My brain is absorbing the information way more and better. Follow your curiosity. And sometimes let you take away the sacredness. You don't have to fucking read the introduction of a book. What does the introduction of the book bring you? You just read it because you want to be that guy that says, oh yeah, I read a full book from end to finish. No. Most likely you don't. Like sometimes, yeah, it can be nice if it's the first time you've read a book from that author to read the introduction. Okay, then do it. But don't necessarily have to. Instead of just seeing the book and trying to just see it as this, oh yeah, book, I have to read the book. Be more like, yeah, I'm curious about this information, I want to learn about it. And if a chapter doesn't contain that, you can simply skip it. If you read the chapter, it's fucking boring, you're not interested in it, fucking find another one. Simple as that. Right now I'm in the phase I'm learning more from podcasts because I have some books, but from the books that I have, the books that I currently have don't contain the information that I'm currently really curious about. Outside of the Way of Superman, the Way of Superman, I read it before going to bed quickly. I read like a few chapters of the Way of Superman before going to bed. For most of the day, I just watch some podcasts currently because the information I currently want are not necessarily in the books that I currently have. So I have some books about business, but yeah, they don't necessarily have some information that I'm looking for right now. So yeah, it's also because I don't have that much money to just buy new books because there are probably a lot of books out there that have the information that I'm currently looking for and that I currently find in podcasts. So if I had the money to buy more books, I would definitely do it. Like from a Kindle. So yeah, in the future I'm gonna buy a Kindle and I will just when I'm interested in it, and then when I have enough money to do that, when I'm interested in a certain topic, I'll just buy a book about it and read it. So in the future, I think I'm gonna be go more to go more learn from reading, also from podcasts. I think podcasts are also fucking powerful. But maybe in the future, I'm gonna go more to the side of reading when I have a Kindle and I have enough money to just buy books as much as I want. But yeah, learning. Don't be fucking bored when you do that. If you're fucking bored and you hate it, believe me, it's not because it might be maybe your attention span plays a role. I used to think that the fact that I hated reading was because my attention span was shit. Maybe you played a little role, but no. If you're truly curious about a topic, even if your attention span is pretty bad, you're still gonna enjoy learning about it. You're still gonna enjoy learning about it. Just there was probably a time. We must remember a time when you were really curious about a topic and you didn't really think about, oh yeah, I want to learn about it, but you just started researching about it automatically on YouTube. That's how you should learn every day. For me, I will just basically tell you how my routine looks like. So I wake up at 3:45 a.m. I just want to tell you truly when I'm learning. So I wake up at 3:45 a.m. I go and take a cold shower from around 3:45 to 4 a.m. 4 a.m. I'm back in my room and I start working. From 4 to 6 a.m. I'm working. So right now it's 4 something, 4 like 4:10, 4:15, I don't know. I start working until 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. I start training. I train from 6 to 9. And then at the end of my training I could take a shower, a warm shower now. And then from 9 to 11, I work a little bit more, but not on videos. I work on my offer, 9 to 11. Then from 11 to 11:30, I have my first meal of the day. So from like 3:45 a.m. when I wake up to 11, I don't eat at all. I'm fasted. It's fucking powerful prosthetic. And then from 11 to 11:30, I'm eating my first meal. And then from 11:30 to 6 p.m., I'm learning. It's learning time. So to find when you should be learning, just make your killer routine. Find the important tasks you have in your day. Your training, your work. Put it into your routine. It doesn't have to fill up the whole routine. So follow the principle from like books like deep work. Focus on the most important tasks. I focus on recording when I work. Recording and making videos is just in general the most important thing. I first go on recording and making my recording better. If I also script from time to time, not necessarily every time. So I really focus on that, on the main task. And I put it into my routine. Then I put my workouts into my routine, into a calendar. I use Google Calendar for my routine. Then I put my meals into my routine. Right, then I put the time I'm asleep into my routine. And then all the free time that's left, all the time where I don't necessarily do anything, I just fucking learn. I just learn. So on some days, I might, in the first deep work block, I might find that I'm finished with work before 6 a.m. and I don't really have another task to do. So maybe I might be finished with work earlier than planned today. So maybe at 5:15, I don't have any real tasks to do. When it does happen, when I just do it, I just learn. I just start learning. When I have nothing to do, I learn. That's basically how you should do it. Find the most important tasks of your day, not to prioritize. And find the most important things in your day, add it into your day, your workouts, your work, meditation a little bit, and then the whole free time that's left. It doesn't have to be as long as me, because right now it's just as a YouTuber, I don't have that much work to do right now, but in the future it's gonna be probably increasing. And that's why I can have this like 6.5 hour learning block. But in the future it's probably gonna go down to like 3 hours or 4 hour learning block, and that's still pretty good. That's basically how you should do it. Just find the time where you have nothing to do, and instead of trying to work more, if you know that working more in that situation won't give you more necessarily output. So I could try to record all day, and there was a phase where I was recording all day every day, not so long ago, like literally 3 weeks ago. And it wasn't like I already upload every day, so I can record one video per day and use the other productive time to make my videos better. Just recording every day doesn't give me this like recording all day. I mean, doesn't give me necessarily more output. So it really over in the long run, it just made my recording sometimes like worst. So I just now record in the morning, and then I work a little bit, then I train, and I work a little bit more on my offer, then I eat, and then I just learn how to record better, how to become a better businessman, how to help you more. I learn things that I can implement in my own self-improvement journey, so I can share them with you. I try them out and then I share them with you in my videos. That's basically it. Like learning is such a powerful habit. It took me so long to get it right. I used to mess it up for so long. I just made it as a sacred habit of, oh yeah, I just have to read a book from end to finish every day. Oh yeah, don't stop just like this cock measuring thing of, oh yeah, I read 100 books a day or a year. It's not really about that. About how many books a year you read. It's about how much information you actually ingrained. You don't have to read like a book a week or something like that. Just find a book that has some current information that you're interested in and read about it. And you're curious about something else. Simple as that. Find a book that has information or podcast that has information that you're interested in. Read it until you can create that information. then find something else and read it and read it and read it and then try it in your whole life. Simple as that. It's not the sacred thing of, oh yeah, I have to read the introduction every time I read it, then I have to go through the whole book, pages from pages from pages and pages. No. Like, I would reread the same book 7 times, and reading the same book is not a bad thing. I think it's an amazing thing. But every time I reread it, I would literally just go through the introduction again. Like, how stupid is that? I just hope you don't make the same mistake as me. Because it took me 1.5 years to get this right, this habit of learning right. But when I did, I'm just grateful I did now. So I hope you can get this habit right faster than me. I hope you got value from this video, bro. Don't run away from this comp. Oh yeah, if you're interested in my discipline package, watch you think actually my videos, put in a lot more details, then click the first thing in the description so we can feel if you're a good fit for it. Don't worry from discomfort. Chase it.